Whew. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Illustrator Fantasies. I am here. Whew. I'm here. I've made it. We are here. I'm ready to do something tonight. Plug that in. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. So tonight, the plan, if we can call it that, was for me to get cracking on these images for this book, these illustrations. That was the plan, but I think I'm experiencing a block, so that's fun. That's fun. So what I'm trying to do right now is actually talk myself through it. So maybe tonight will just be, literally that, me just talking myself through this block and trying to figure out why it exists and trying to move past it. So we'll start with the main thing was... I gotta fix something here. That is not what I want. Okay. Okay. Anyway. I've lost my train of thought. Like I said, the plan was to get started on these pages. I need to talk myself through the block right now. Mostly because it centers around the story itself and what my initial plan was. So let me get camera set up here and everything so you can have some point of reference for what I'm talking about. Let's get this thing going. Okay, so we have this, the book that I'm redoing right now, The Night Is Our Victory. And, the characters who are, the people who are featured in this story are, when the story was first developed, I had no idea where, Illustrator Fantasies was going or what I was actually trying to do, what type of stories I was trying to tell. I just wanted to kind of get this out. And so I did that, and it was great as a standalone thing, and I said I can expand it and do this with it. And it started to not necessarily take on a life of its own. I mean, if it took on a life of its own, that's probably a good thing. And it still is kind of a good thing. The problem is, the problem is also not with me trying to remake this and redevelop this. Because if that was all I was doing, well, then I could easily just, re-release it. But I wanted to update the art and the images in here, and tell a more concise, cohesive story. So this story is told in 3 acts. So this is Act 1, just this 20-page book right here. I think it's 20 pages. Is, maybe it's like 16 or something, is the first act. And whether or not that's going to be a big story or a little story, it's all right here. This is the first act. The second act is a multi-issue thing, multi-issue series that I had started maybe about a year after this. And so I've got some of the art here, but I never finished it, which is a thing that happens. So I don't want to go too much into the art itself because I kind of want to change this story. Well, not change it, but as I talk about updating the story, updating the art, and really doing more with it, I don't want it to be the same stuff that's here. So I'm looking at, okay, who are the characters in this story? Like, why are they so important to anything? And, you know, the first act is the setup. I mean, more than anything, it's probably more like a prequel to the second and third acts, which is where everything really happens, where we get to know the actual characters involved with the story. And it's not about it being written down, it's really about, you know, what is happening in these pages. You know, I'm looking at everything, and this is a very loosely developed story, so there's not a whole lot that was really supposed to be here. And then I decided, I want to do something else with it. So, and that's kind of where I am now, where I wanted to grow, and I wanted to become something more than this, but I need it to be here right now, and I don't know what the here right now is. So, I just kind of started drawing these little lines on the paper, just in hopes that maybe something will come to me, and not really. Well, I mean, a few things are, and here's the thing about blocks is sometimes I'm blocked. I get, you know, artist blockages, mostly because I'm judging the story that's coming to me and not letting it actually just happen. And what follows is that once I finally do just let the story happen and develop on its own, then it starts to flow again. So that's kind of where I am. So yeah. Can kind of look back over these pages and just say, I knew where things were going then when I developed the story initially. And I don't want to show off too much because, I mean, this is unreleased art that I'm really just, it was in the comic and I'm just not going to do anything with it because I want to change how that story went. And so, I don't know. I don't know. Let me clean off my paper. And I don't know, maybe something will come to me. Maybe something will come. So, the first act is called The Night Is Our Victory. The second act is called Night's Name. And the third act is called The Death of Winter. So, there we go. I can get that all out there. Those are the names of the three acts. And the story really should be following the people who are, as I said, the ancestors of the characters from the comic that I have been working on recently. You know, it's kind of like their predecessor. So, you know, there's just basic story things that are, well, not even story things, more like plot things. Well, story things that are changing with that as well. So, you know, I'm there for that. Okay, so we're making this change to that initial story just so that we can actually tie it to everything else that's happening. And we know who they become and what they turn, at least I do, who they become, what they turn into. So my plan was to actually have this story, The Night Is Our Victory, be like the story of their telling, of how they, you know, became who they were. How their ancestors became their ancestors. We call this people the Ternathi. And so we're telling the story of how they found themselves as their own people and where they came from. And it kind of starts with this particular night. So maybe what I want to do is look back at all these old pages that were in Knight's name and maybe do something different there. Maybe find some inspiration here of how I can actually start this story. Even though the story starts here. So let's kind of walk through. We spotted our prey, making treasures of our home, commodity to be spent amongst their kind, like so much lucre, bereft of meaning, its true value lost upon them. Just kind of like going through the pages and saying, okay, what's supposed to be happening here in this story? You know, it starts with the characters, you know, embroiled in a conflict, but okay, what does that do for us? Like, how do we set that up? How do I set that up as the artist of the story? I don't know. This is the block. And as I said, you know, there's ideas coming to me, and then I'm like, no, that sucks. And there's the block happening right there. I'm just not letting the ideas actually exist and live. And that is the trouble with being an artist. I keep reaching for it because the answer is here. The answer is very much here. What would be a really great first page to open the book to? The year begins and the wraith are in mourning. A king has met his natural end, and a queen leads the people to his mound. Some, however, are not so easily called to their queen's side. The death of winter, is an opportunity that the sylph cannot ignore. The night calls, and now is the time for the people to respond. The renegade sylph choose the stars as much as the stars choose them. So, that was this. Knight's Name. Number 2. Again, the story that really didn't go anywhere. Because I couldn't finish it. Because everything else going on that I'm trying to finish right now. But I want to go back to this. To what was happening at that time. We have the people, this group of sylph who decided that now is the time for them to break away from the rest of their community because of what is happening with their community. And they don't want any more part of that. But what scene starts the story? What is the central conflict? What's happening? That's what I'm dealing with right now. This year there have been too many incursions from the human settlement that they can stand, and so a small troop has gone forth and destroyed it, only to find that some escaped and are now gathering items from the forest with which to return home. So, in the original, we have us opening onto this scene here. And I think the other part is that I'm trying to change too much at one time, where I want there to be more at the beginning that brings us to this point. And so we kind of carry the story forward. So maybe I do just need to start here. So let's do that. Let's start here. Let's start with this page. So let's go ahead and draw our trees in. You can't really see what I'm doing over here. I do want to have that in here. Okay, it's coming together. To have some visitors in, hanging out. So I want to thank you all for stopping by, and welcome to Illustrator of Fantasies, where I am currently working on putting this book back together and getting it back on track. I was actually hoping to get some pages done today before I went live. Lots of things ended up happening today, so had to make a couple of runs out of the house, and then I had class session. So that's pretty much why I'm starting so late. We'll construct this image pretty much just like the other one that we did on Monday. So why is this group of self trying to break away from their community? Well, their community has grown increasingly violent. Well, the rest of their people have grown increasingly violent, especially towards the communities who are basically building themselves, the non-self communities that are being built. And where there is great sympathy for what's happening to the forest, this particular group of self don't want to be violent. They want to be able to, of course, protect their home, and they do see a problem with the regular, steady encroaching on their lands and on their territories, but their hearts and their spirits just don't fall in step and in line with the just unbridled violence that the rest of their people seem so bent on, and have this idea that this is the only way you can teach these non-self how to coexist with other people, is if you destroy them entirely. Maybe that's the scene we need to draw here. Huh. I think I got it. Now, I did all that drawing, and do I want to erase this? Am I going to come back to this scene? I think I am, so why don't we just keep this? What I usually like to do is just draw everything in order. I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that's really gonna work right now, because I am gonna use this particular image, just not as the first image. Maybe. I think I need some reference here. Give me a moment. We are going to Google. Let's see what we can come up with. I wonder if these bushes actually make sense. No, they don't. Not that. Not like that. So maybe... think I know what I'm trying to do. We just kind of add these little scribbly tufts here. We have some winter grass. This tree does not exist anymore. And as I said on Monday, the idea is to fill up the background scene entirely so that we can just place the foreground characters where they're supposed to be. So we can just kind of have fun with this. Hope I didn't do anything accidentally in the stream because I hit the wrong button. Okay. I think what could be fun is if we did this. There's a tree just kind of off camera. And we'll just do this to help frame what's happening here. So in the scene, what I was originally planning to do, for, you know, plans changed, as they do with me, this was going to be the introduction of the the non-sylph people. But I think I want to do something different here. I don't even know if I want to do it like that. That looks kind of weird. This tree looks out of place. These branches, rather, look out of place. Everything else is just kind of growing up tall, and then you have this random tree hand just kind of reaching over into the scene. Which, I mean, kind of on brand, but it's not exactly the look I want. At least not for this page. Draw some little shelf mushrooms on the bottom of this tree, I guess. Or maybe we'll just take that off of there. I don't know. We're just filling up the scene with details. Some of these details will end up making it to the final image. Some will not. I go in story order for the pages only because it helps me to keep the narrative in my head going. So I know what page should be coming next and what scene should be coming next. Go back to my reference here. If I do this, that'll help me to just kind of know where the ground plane is for all of these trees. Put you right there. Who knows, this may also help me when I need to put in the shadows. Okay, I like that. It's a good start for the background. I'm referencing some other wintertime forests at night imagery. I like that. We'll get some little tiny bushes like that. Patches in different places. Right now it looks like a whole bunch of pencil scribbles. It will totally make so much more sense when I actually put the ink on it. Now, that's an interesting question. I don't know if I'm going to do any inking tonight. I think I want to kind of keep my momentum going and just pencil some things down. Because the inking will take a while. And this is why in my previous comics work, you saw me go through all of the pencils first, then I went to the inking. The inking takes a minute. It definitely takes a while. So there's really... I don't see the point of... it would take too long. Like, I'll sit down and I'll draw, the pencils, and then I go directly to the inks, and then that's another couple of hours when I can have, a few hours of pencils done and actually have gotten somewhere with the pencil pages, and then I can go back and do the inks, which will take a while to get through. Especially because each one of these images is their own standalone piece. That's the other thing I'm dealing with. So, you know what? We're gonna do this with these trees, maybe, I think. If I get the background in order like that, then we have a fully populated scene already with just trees. Now we can actually add our characters in. So the next step really is to draw some basic shapes. I usually do little things like this to help me establish where the actual people will be in this scene. It allows me to establish some height relationships and just general placement. And then we can deal with the props and all that other stuff afterwards. I'm going to put someone back there. We'll layer them with that person there. And the next thing that I want to consider is the movement in the page. So I want the movement to be going from the left to the right as how everything will be read. So what I should probably do then is consider maybe this hill actually back over here on this side of the image. And that way we're going downhill as the book actually progresses. See? Composition. May mean this tree and this tree back there fades a little bit more into the background. The tree gets a little more brown there. What I was trying to do was, at our angle, theorizing that maybe we actually do see some of the treetops you know, as we go downhill here. There's trees in the background. Yep. Erase this one too. That looks good. And then we're just going to take our graphite stick, basically what it is, graphite, and we're just going to kind of go in and make sure we can actually discern the trees here. Put just a few of these branches over here. I think I was overdoing it by having reached so far over, when I think this right here is fine, because they can also serve as kind of a visual arrow to help guide the direction in this of the movement here. And then we'll do this. Not too worried about the grass. And the thing about having like this bush right here, is that it seems to form like a block, like a little wall. So maybe we won't have that there, especially if we want the movement to continue in this direction. Just kind of do that little thing. Maybe this hill is a little extra steep. Oh, I'm gonna miss this tree back there. Do this just so we know where people are. Yeah, that looks good. Actually have just a few branches sticking out of this tree here, and maybe we'll get some back here. They're fantasy trees. They don't have to make sense. No, they should make sense, but they should look like trees. They should absolutely look like trees, but I think they do. Okay. Okay, so that is page 2. Well, page 1 and 2. sooner. Lurking while killing fools in Dead by Daylight. Okay, I love it. Thank you for coming by and hanging out with me tonight. Oh, that's fun. Getting the buffering over here too, so I apologize if you are affected by that. It is definitely a problem I have not figured out how to fix yet. Give me just a minute, I'm getting a call. Okay, I'm back. Work-related call. Something I'll have to deal with tomorrow. So, anyway. So now that we have this image done, I'm thinking it'd be kind of cool. It would be cool, maybe, if we continued, if we made this look like, what am I doing? One continuous image. Oh, goodness. Give me a moment. Oh my goodness. Okay, y'all, I am so sorry about that. I had to, because of my job, there are certain things that I have to do with volunteer accounts and donation accounts and things like that. So I had to walk my peer how to get through that for a donation for someone who was supposed to have come 2 weeks ago to pick up what she was supposed to be picking up. She never did. She never showed. So he had to go through that tonight. Anyway, what I was thinking of doing now regarding this is what I was fighting with initially. I wanted to think that maybe I wanted this to be a continuous image. Actually, I think I can do that. Because at this point, when we get over here, we can do all of this. We'll have right up here at the top of a hill, or a crest. I'll definitely put some trees back here in the background. Tree right there too. Maybe we'll turn some of these little sticks down here into our traveling group. So the background continues as one continuous image, but, you know, we've obviously changed scenes, we've changed angles, and our people have moved forward a little bit. Add a few more trees in here just to fill in some of these empty spots so it doesn't look quite so barren. And then down here, this is where the challenge is actually going to be, trying to draw a very tiny town way down here. This is actually going really, really well right now, so. You just need to, just kind of draw the gesture of some buildings down there. And let's look back at this one and just kind of get we're going to kind of keep the same energy of what we did on the other page. So now this is kind of a wall that tells us we're still moving in this direction of left to right. So now this tree branch is pointing in the direction of the town. So again, that keeps us moving left to right, keeps moving in a certain direction, so that's what we're following here. I'm going to take this pencil here and just kind of do some deeper gesturing here. Figure that out. Let me try something here. Let me see where we are. So yeah, I did just kind of bring... I'm thinking maybe I'll put another figure right here. And that should help kind of... That should help to tie both of these images together. I think it does. I think it does. Okay. Sorry. Let me get back to the main page. Okay. So we've got... So we'll start here. And the whole scene just kind of follows over to the next page. Alright, so what happens here? I see my viewers are back. Thank you everyone for stopping in. I am sorry that I had to end the stream just to restart it again, but I'm back. Alright, so the next page that I want to put in here is we're telling this story. I think what I was thinking of doing for this page is let's actually see who all of these characters are. Some kind of idea of what they look like. Yeah, I think the plan I have will definitely work for telling this story. So we can just get push right here. We are out of the forest. Actually, do I want to do that? Sorry, just thinking. Get some grass going in here. And this is usually what I end up doing. At least I did in the past whenever I was drawing scenes. You know, I'll draw on all my characters in the foreground and then just completely ignore the background. That's doing me any good. We want the forest that they emerge from back here. So we'll have maybe a line like that. Excuse me. Try to keep the scene consistent. With the rest of the backgrounds back there, so. Okay. We're gonna just draw little people shapes. Just so that I have them. Draw our tree shapes here. Okay. And there is page 3. They'll come to life a little more once I actually start to get the details in, and I'll ink them in. So, but for now, just want to kind of serve to get these backgrounds in here. Okay, I think I know what's going to happen. So in the next 2 pages, we need to make sure that the focus stays on them. So I think I know how this is going. will be 3, 6, 7, 8. So I only have... Okay. I had to reconfigure everything in my head and how the story was going, so... I think I will have to change what's happening here. Deep in thought. Because the whole... Let me recount this and make sure I got this right. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it was 7 images. Got it. So, those 7 images from that book will be recreated. 3, 6, 7. I just need to know how I'm doing that. Because as I said, the story will progress from here into the second act, so I want to make sure I get that right. So, I think... Oh my word. Hi, Coil, welcome. Party of 9, JCoil29, thank you so much for stopping by. Hey, Geek. Oh my goodness, yes, it is a raid. Welcome, everybody, welcome. Oh my goodness, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping in. Welcome, everybody, to Illustrator of Fantasies. I am Celestian. This is my little home on the internet on Twitch. How are you? I am perfectly fine. Thank you so much. I had a bit of a scare a minute ago, but it's all taken care of. We're good. Jacob, thank you so much. How are you, sir? I am doing really, really well. We are working on brand new pages for brand new book. I don't know if I've mentioned this to you guys, but this is the book I'm working on. The Night is Our Victory. Redoing this book entirely. So I'm just kind of laying out my pages while also getting some fresh brand new art done. So I'll show that off to you a little bit. We're just working right now with the pencils. We have this whole background and all this scene going, and then just kind of moseying into the next part of the page. We get to this part. So you actually caught me just as I finished up this page, and I'm moving on to the next one. So thank you everybody for stopping in. Welcome. As I said, Illustrator of Fantasies. I am a fantasy artist, and working on a comic book, remaking that book that I just showed you, so that I can actually have something published by the end of the year. So we are going full steam ahead on that. So, Coil, what were you doing tonight? I know I stopped in for a little bit, and I forget the game. I think you were playing with Geek. Yes, you guys were playing Spellbreak, was it? If I remember correctly. Can't wait to see the finished piece. Neither can I. I'm actually redoing every single image from this book, and I was actually just counting and seeing how much of that I had left, because I'm also adding some things to this story as well. So, 3, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 7. There's supposed to be 15 in here, but that's alright. We'll get through it. So I can always add another page from another pad. Yeah, I'm hoping that that'll be the book for this year. Yes, Spellbreak has some good games. Good. Very nice. Very nice. I have made my account and I just haven't gone in to actually do anything with it yet. So, like, I haven't stepped into a match. So maybe sometime we'll have to play a match together. And you guys can give me, like, a few pointers and things of how to navigate things around. I've gone through the tutorial and everything. I just haven't played a match, so I'm glad you guys came over. I really appreciate it. I needed the pick me up today, so all right. Let's see what we've got. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this next page. I don't know if I want to go directly to a page from the book or if I want to bridge this page to a page in the book. I feel like I do want to bridge it, but I'm not entirely sure. You know what? Give me a minute. Because since I know for a fact that I'm missing a page, this will kind of end the debate. Glad we could give you that pick me up. Yes, thank you so much for that. I do need to sleep now, though. It's too late. Yeah, I'm like, how in the world are you still up right now? Go to bed. Enjoy your night. Thank you for coming by. Have your stream tab. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for coming by and hanging out with me. Really do appreciate it. So this gives me a little bit of a buffer page so I can actually play around with this one. And hey, even if you have my tab muted, it's okay for the lurk. I have captions here, so you still have an idea of what's going on. The captioner is a little wacky. It definitely rewrites the script. So some things are not exactly what I said. Alright, so what do I want to do with this page? We can do, just like I did with the last couple of pages, and just kind of bridge them just like this. So, I think what I have in mind, I'm hoping will be kind of fun and epic looking for a scene. So we're still going downhill as the book progresses along. I had an idea. It disappeared. Or maybe I want to do something different here. I don't know. No, because what I'm thinking of doing is I need a scene that shows the attack on the town. And that's what I was thinking about doing for this page. And instead of having the forest behind them and then we're in front of them, we're actually, again, behind them, and we have the town up here, and that should pretty much cover that. I may actually do that. Not sure. I can tell you for sure, making art is a very time-consuming process. Always takes a little bit. God, I can't wait to ink those. They are going to look so amazing. So on the screen, you can actually see right under my box here is the image that I did on Monday. So this is why I do this in batches, and I'll do all the pencils first before going into the inks, because it always takes me quite a while to actually do an entire image front to back. So, you know, it takes me about 4 hours to do the pencils, the inks, and then the final colors of an image. So that's a very long process. So that's why I say, well, I'll take the 4 hours that I have, do all the pencils, and come back the next day to do all the inks. And then the final day, I'm just working on color. Or at least the final week, I'm working on color. So once upon a time, when I first made this book, it took me a week to do, but that was because, you know, I was just throwing paint onto the page. Wasn't really trying to, I mean, I was trying to make a thing, but, you know, it didn't really have the skill behind it that I do now. So now I know, take my time with everything. So maybe I will do that with this. I don't know. Actually, there's an idea that's brewing right now, and I'm like trying to see if it makes sense to do. We always have trees in the scene. All of our pages. I don't like where this page is going. I can tell you that I don't. I got some scribbles down on it, but I keep coming back to that idea of just having that here. You know what I want to do? I'm going to have to do this another time, but may need to look at some other reference images, but you know what I can do? I have so many people in my chat. You guys, thank you for coming by and hanging out. I really do appreciate that. The other thing I'm worried about is I'm trying to keep the story focused on these people here and not branch out too much to divert the scene. So not quite ready to go into this book yet. So this book, when I finally actually do start on these pages, will be the entire middle. Like, so that's 7 pages all in the middle. Meanwhile, it'll be sandwiched into, like, we'll have 4 pages at the beginning and then 4 pages at the end. Actually, yes, that's what I'll do. So we are going to, we'll do a bit of a time skip. So we're going from this page here. So with these, everybody's coming forward from the forest, and now everybody's going back. And I feel like, and I hate doing it that way, because if you kind of miss something in the narrative as it follows from image to image, because that's mostly what the story is centering around, is the actual imagery. But, you know, I'm kind of saving myself by not having to draw the town in ruin. Do this, cast a last look over his shoulder, and we'll draw in some semblance of, you know, what they looked like. This is the same people, the Ternathi here. Get this in here. I think this will be a really great first book that introduces the world, and that's really what this is all about. It's kind of the part of the storytelling that I always love, is the world building. So we have all this fun stuff going on over here. Maybe I'll put everybody here on the page instead of like having them hang half off. So this is what we've got. I'm going to try and get as much of this in the scene as possible. I don't know how many people are in this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll put number 8 right here, so that everybody's represented. We have 2 people here who are kind of hobbled together. One is helping the other. Or they're just walking very closely, who knows. Danicated, hi! Late but came with Coil's Raid. Thank you for coming by, appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Illustrator of Fantasies. I gotta come up with a fun name for my little community here, because I mean I have my regulars, you know, you guys who do come by, so hey, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. I do have my regulars who do come by, and you know, we're just kind of we're here to hang out, so I consider you all friends of fantasies. I know it's corny, but that's what I got. So we're going to deal with corny right now. But thank you. Absolutely. We're all friends of the channel. Well, I'm glad you like it, because honestly, I really hope that you like it and everybody else likes it. Because this is the story that I'm going to be working on. This is the one I'm pushing to get completed. So, for this year. I promised myself that I was going to publish something this year. I instructed myself to publish something this year, and I think this is actually going to be it. So I'm actually got some really great pacing right now. Actually really getting somewhere. So hoping that I can continue to get this going. Actually do some fun things with it. So tonight I'm trying to get through maybe not all the pencils, but as many as I possibly can. And with, you know, 2 hours left in the stream, I'm hoping that I can get through quite a bit tonight. As I said, I pretty much have a map of where I'm going, since I'm just recreating some older images. So it should actually go by pretty smoothly. Okay. That is my page 4. You know what? I really should number these. I think I will. And it's only so that I don't, like, get, like, if, what ends up happening in my office is I will have things just kind of tossed around. I did this with the original images too, so all I'm going to write is TNIOV page 1. Down in that corner. On the back, of course. This way, even if things get out of order, everything's numbered. What I'm really excited about is the progress that I'm making on this book, even at this stage with just the pencils. Like, these are, I'm adding 8 more images to the story. So, and I can tell you right now, I actually started this stream not really knowing what I'm doing with a blockage. So, I'm glad that I've moved through that blockage to get these first 4 images. I have figured out that I need to have 4 images added to the end, and that should help bridge the story into Act 2, which will come next year. So this is going to be the project that's going to consume me for the next year or so. I'm excited. You know, and it's so funny because it also keeps me going while I am in classes. So it's a very low time impact on me. So, you know, that 40-hour-a-week job, and then I'm in classes and I'm trying to learn the piano, and I'm trying to make a comic book series while also streaming. So, you know, I've got to manage my time a little more, but I think this will be perfect because the other project that I was working on is going to take a whole lot more than what I can actually give to it. So we're going to make this work. We are definitely going to make this work. If you give me just one moment, I need to get something to drink. I am very thirsty, so I will be right back. And we're back. Excellent. So I also did run a 60-second ad, so that was a really great, perfect timer. So I have my drink. I'm in good shape. We are ready to go. Now, I can actually just go ahead and recreate these images. So, let's do it. So, this first page, we are seeing, we have these two characters over here. We've got a fallen tree right here. We've got a handful of other characters in this scene. And we're gonna go ahead and recreate this to be a little more something. So what I want is, instead of having that right there, we want our people who are returning from town destruction to come back. Actually, do we? No, we don't, because they're right here. They're the next page. So, you know what? Let's just go with it. Let's just go with what we're doing. Aw, thanks for the hugs, geek. So how are you guys tonight? You're seeing what I'm doing, what I'm working on. You guys are burning the late night oil, hanging out with me. I want a tree right there. Actually, no, I will put this tree back here. I absolutely will. We're going to make these scenes a little more dramatic, is what my goal is tonight. So a lot of trees here, but of course it is a forest, that is where they live. Ooh, actual maybe. If we were to do... I think out loud sometimes, and ideas just kind of come to me. Nah, no, it's not going to work the way I think that it's going to. Actually, we'll work in the opposite direction, though. So we say... maybe on this page we can have them coming back up the hill. And then... Aww, I love the hugs. Actually do that here. We're coming back up into the forest. We get these gestured in trees. And now we're back into the forest so we can actually do all sorts of things. And here we have all this brush and things like that. Just like I did with that first page, and we'll establish the ground for our trees here. Okay, now we've done that. We have established the background in pencils. You know, I'm always impressed by how fast I can actually finish an image. Usually about 4 hours. Usually about 4 hours. I think 5 was kind of pushing it for me if I were like really trying to nail in some very specific details. Or depending on the medium I'm working with. So this is mostly going to be gouache. I can see this definitely, you know, the coloring actually going through that 4-hour phase, but just to get everything done. But like if I were doing a single image in one night, you know, going from the pencils to the inks to the color, then yeah, it would probably take a few hours. I can see that easily going for like 3 to 4 hours. Which is usually how I time my streams. But I'm giving myself, 4 hours tonight. So we're going until 11. So everybody knows we're going until 11. To finish the pencils. That should put me in a really good spot. Or at least this first pass of pencil. And that should give me a good spot to look at and say, okay, this is where I know I'm going to be going when I get to do the inks. Alright, so now let's add some people into this scene. I want them to be kind of small back here. These are our people who are coming back from their raid, which is effectively what that was. And if you look in the background here, this is them in the shadows. So it's still this scene. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to get my main characters here. It's also kind of what we're seeing here on the cover. So in this original book, this scene is supposed to take place in wintertime. It doesn't really look like this is a wintertime in a forest. So that's one of the other reasons why I wanted to redo this. Actually, you may be a little too close. You want to take them by surprise. Do something different here. We're looking at this guy right now. Everybody's holding torches. Well, not everybody, but a few of them. Like this guy was originally holding a torch, but I don't want that to be a thing right now. So it's not. I want to keep this couple right here. They're going to be right here. Actually move them up in this page here. They're holding sticks. And it's really what they all came up to the forest to do, which is basically to find firewood and, you know, whatever they can grab, because it's a very hard winter right now. Hope I'm not speaking that into existence, but we'll see. But we'll see. Fix this over here. Hold your torch right, please, sir. Thank you. Okay. We want to make sure we add enough people into this scene to make it kind of worth the energy of reading it. Okay, so what I want to do is that. Kind of have my torch bearers picked out. And everybody else, of course. Okay. Do some of this. Make sure we add lots of twigs everywhere because that's what they're collecting. Okay, the scene is starting to fill up really nicely, so I love that. We want to still make sure that we have the ominous presence of our returning sylph friends back here. Okay, I think I know what I need to do there. Okay, here we go. All right, we'll figure out their clothing later. For the most part, this page, I think, is a much improved version of what was originally here. I'm going to go with it. Okay. Down like that. TNIOVP.5. Awesome. Why are you all the way over there when I can have you over here? So this page, this is the fury of returning home to see your forced home kind of being plundered. I mean, yeah, they did just do that to these people, but, you know. This one we can kind of keep largely unchanged. Putting in a lot of trees. I don't want that tree there. No, not particularly. Well, you know what? It's fine. It's fine if that goes there. It'll just kind of frame the scene more than anything. Pop this out real quick. Or not. Get our trees in the background here. I think he's too tall. I want his head right there. Well, actually, no, he's fine. Just the way he was. It's totally fine the way he was. Nice and tall. I'm really excited for this story. To see how well I can bring it back to new life. We are taking to the trees here. One, two, three, four, 5, 6. We're missing 2. Yep. trying to make sure that we get everybody in here. Two, three, four, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there was another one right here. Person's going up the tree. Do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This tree to be right there so we can better conceal this person here. And I want him facing us, him facing in the direction that he's going to be moving in. Him behind the tree to do that. And I need to fill up the scene a little differently. Yeah, there's too much overlap over there. I really need you to move over then. You right there on that tree. Want you maybe over here on this one instead. Maybe we won't put a tree over here? I don't know. All right. Graphite. That, that. We have him climbing a tree. We're going to put a tree right there. You're going up that tree, over there. Find it. Okay. Alright, so that is that scene. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people here. Yep, perfect. What I'm about to do is find out if I actually have drawn too many or too few. Alright, so this is page 6. TNIOVP.6. Go back to that first page that I did. I know I drew a bunch of people in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, I'm short one. So what I'll need to do is, for every other page, I'll just have to add another person, so that's fine. I had been wondering. Okay. Next page. This is where the action starts. Oh, we're getting ready for it. From the perspective of our Ternathi people here, we're behind them. We're looking out over the scene as it unfolds. As I said at the beginning, we are from their perspective. So we'll definitely do a couple of trees to frame the scene. Do that. Actually, move this a little further over here. You can't see that, but I'll move this. Shelby, hi! Welcome! Thanks for the bits. How am I tonight? I am doing pretty good. I was a little stressed out earlier, but I'm all good. Just had a couple of phone calls that happened earlier tonight. Turned the microphone. I muted the microphone, and Captioner still caught the entire conversation. So, it was a little stressful, but we're good now. We're in the swing of things, moving right along through the book. I'm actually, Shelby, you are right on time. I'm actually finally actually going through, getting these pages redone. I'm just trying to lay out my trees, using that old book as my reference. That does sound a little stressful. Yeah, it was a special moment. So I'll just kind of have to upload the recorded VOD that I'm making, so that, you can kind of see it from the beginning. I'm glad you've made it past. Yeah, so am I. So am I. But we're getting into this scene here. I'm kind of laying this page out. I really did like the way this particular page looks, so I'm trying to lay this out the way it is in the book. How are you tonight, by the way? I didn't tell you, I scored a 90 on that paper that was late for my labor and relations class, so it was kind of exciting. At least for me, anyway. And I was telling my boyfriend, I'm like, I honestly think that, you know, there may have been a, like, the contract that we had to analyze, dense. Oh my goodness. 400 pages dense. And I think most of it was appendices for the contract. But, you know, we just kind of had to review that and say, oh, this article may come up for, you know, renegotiation later. I'm like, I don't know how to know that. So I ended up emailing my teacher and just kind of letting her know, like, hey, I'm stumped. This actually did get me. So this paper is late right now. Sounds hideous. Yeah, it was. It was. And she said, well, you know, try focusing on this and doing this, that, and the other. I did not go... I had already... At the time I emailed her, I had already turned in the paper, submitted it into the assignment Dropbox, and I was done. I said, you know what? The grade that I get is the grade that I get. So it is what it is. I did analyze at least one of the articles that I found that I thought was like, okay, this kind of caught me as like a... I would definitely negotiate this a little more specifically. So I did actually throw, you know, that in there, but you know, came back and I'm like, oh, see what she graded me as, and it was a 90. So I'm very happy with that. I'm going to let that be. So, you know, my boyfriend's like, oh, you probably had some other people who also had some trouble with that. So I'm like, there's a good chance that actually did happen. Take it and run. Exactly. Take it and run. Exactly. So how's schoolwork going for you? You know, you and me in the same boat of homework. I don't know if you had a paper or just some other assignments that you had due. Bam! Hey, thank you! Yes, congrats on the 90. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here too. I always love it when you're here. It always makes me feel good. Like I always know I have a friend in chat when I know you're here, so thank you, Bam. Yeah, I'm super excited about that. So, so far, both of the classes that I have right now, I am solidly in the A range as far as grades, so... Plugging away on it right now, the cheery subject of prison mental health programs and their astounding ability at failing incarcerated people. Oh man, that sounds deep. Always lurking, thank you, Bam. Yes, you are, and I totally appreciate it. I am always so happy to know that you're here. Yeah, that does sound deep. How, working on gathering resources for my final project. How are you with research? Because, like, I can tell you right now, research is definitely one of those things that I absolutely love doing. And my instructor for my labor and relations class has pointed out that I tend to have very good research. That I tend to do a pretty good job on that. My whole thing is, like, she's definitely called me out. It's like, you probably do want to shorten these things down, your papers down, though. I do also write kind of densely. We can write a paper, make a podcast, or create a YouTube video. I chose a paper. You know what? That's what it is. I mean, I think there's something to be said about, you know, having a paper written. I like it. But I'm always reading and writing things anyway, so... So how's the resource gathering for you? I love research. I've always had a knack for being able to find exactly what I need. Same! Absolutely the same. That's why I love it so much. And most of the time, like, my instructors are like, hey, just, you know, find, you know, a couple of sources that obviously aren't Wikipedia, but, you know, articles and things. And, you know, people are always writing about lots of things. And if you, you know, kind of know what you're looking for, Yes, Google is your best friend. Even if you don't know what you're looking for, you just ask the question that is in your head. And like Google has been very good to me. Let me put it that way when it comes to me doing my research. So I always come up with like some really great academic articles, as well as, news articles. So I always get a nice mix of the two, and I always go through it really intently to find what I'm looking for. So I always end up with some really good stuff. Thankfully, there are abundant resources on the prison mental health services. Downside is that it's a little trickier to get them from a sociological point of view, since it's dominated by psychological research or points of view. So what would be the sociological point of view that you're looking to get? I actually had the idea, just kind of in passing, of picking up my old papers and reading them on stream and just kind of having a discussion around that. I don't know if anybody can get with the academia like that, but that's like my thing. I had actually mused with the idea of going into labor and relations and human resources research, like actually organizational psychology. Yes, I had wanted to go down that path. Still kind of do. It's kind of a thing in my head. The negative effects and ripple effects through society that stem from incarcerated people not receiving mental health services or the services being so subpar. Ooh. How many pages does this paper need to be? Because this sounds like it can go for a bit. I would be very, very interested in reading this paper when you're done, by the way. Just saying. Like one of the discussions that we had early in the class was we had to research sexual harassment in the workplace, and so I kind of went deep, I kind of went hard, and I came up with some really fantastic sources, and it was just great. But I'm like, I know for a fact I need to trim this back, because to put in everything that I want. Like, this is not the type of thing that any executive is wanting to sit and read for in a few minutes. This is like, I write as though I'm writing for other academics to read it. People who are going to be themselves interested in, or, people who are, kind of in the same line of work that I am. Almost, I would say I'm writing for myself. So, and I know I should not do that. Definitely impacts the ability to re-enter society, but can also drive up rates of crime in their neighborhoods or rates of mental health crises instances, which is detrimental. Absolutely. Oh, I love it. And when does this paper have to be turned in back? I mean it. I definitely want to read this. Do that. Actually, what I'm going to do is we're going to just drop our characters in here. We're just going to have them stride in very boldly. Why not? In about 4 weeks, my classes are considered 8-week classes. I will need to be at least 8 to 10 pages long. Okay. To take the stance of creating my own social advocacy group in the way we would. Ooh, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I want to read this. If you're okay to sharing it. supposed to have another person here, so I guess it'll be right here. And next we're going to have our torch bearing people. Trying to get the rest of these people in the scene here. Ooh, fine, go away. It's actually working well for me as I want to get into prison reform someday anyways, and now I'm realizing through this paper I can figure out where I personally want to start and what avenues may be the most beneficial. That's kind of how I feel about this class that I'm in. And really any class that allows me to do any type of significant research. Like, I keep finding things that I like about my field. And I'm just like, oh my god, I can't wait to actually have my degree and be able to, really go out and do something with it. And hopefully, maybe I do intend to go for my graduate degree when I get my bachelor's. So, but just like looking at everything that I'm doing just in terms of research right now, I would love that extra challenge of, knowing more about research techniques and just how that happens in a more professional academic setting. So I'm super on board with everything I'm learning right now, especially this class. It has been amazing. Like the great thing about research is that it, for me, is like it really opens my eyes to all sorts of other topics and things that I had no idea about. I love to learn things, if I haven't made that clear by just what I'm saying right now. So, knowing that, hey, here's a field of, working that is built all around learning things. And I'm like, yes, this is for me. Where do I sign up? So I'm definitely here for it. Oh, I need one more person. I'm missing someone, so we're going to put them here. And this way we're pushing the scene in this direction, which is still moving this way. Learning is definitely a passion of mine. Same for me. Like, I just love it so much. And so I'm really excited with my grades and everything I'm learning and everything I'm reading about. Like, I love it all. All right, I'm going to do a little circle like that above everyone who's supposed to be a torchbearer. I'm going to put one over here just to fill in this spot. Put you back there. Okay. All right. So that is that scene. Just kind of looks like just drew some scraggly lines here, which I kind of did. So I figured the field of psychology and counseling is always developing, and it's perfect for me. You know what? I actually did want to go into psychology. Funny enough. Just because there's like that opportunity to really learn a lot of stuff. And, I'm thinking to myself, when I go for my master's, maybe I will pick up some psychology classes that'll probably help me as an HR professional. I still think that, but there's also other things that I'm looking at, so I don't really know anymore what I want to do, what I want to take as like my graduate electives. Because I figure I only have but so much time to like learn the stuff that I want to learn. Like, I think I probably will go into psychology. But I found out that the school that I want to go to for my graduate degree has an arts management program, which was the other side of what I do, that I wanted to kind of find a way to combine what I'm doing as far as an HR professional and, you know, as an artist. I'm like, hey, you know, maybe this is a thing I can kind of meld the two together. So I did not know that arts management was a thing. I was hoping that I could find something like that. And then it turns out, oh yeah, this is a whole degree program that's offered here at this school. I'm like, what? So, I don't know. I'll have to talk to my advisors and everybody, but, you know, still kind of thinking psychology as a thing. Okay. Before I overdo this page, because I feel it coming. I'm going to take a break, but now I'm looking to find the school I need for a master's in counseling and therapy. Definitely not worried about it at all. Yeah, I think we mentioned that before you wanted to take a break. So what's making you want to, like, go into your graduate degree at this point? Because for me, it was definitely that sense of accomplishment and, like, knowing that that's the path that I want to go through. So, oh, COVID. Need to find the right one for licensure. Okay. Oh, it is break time. Okay. Give me a minute. I need to go to the restroom, and I will be right back. And I'm back. Figure I might as well push and get it done while job potential is possibly low anyways. Well, I mean, you know, I don't think there's a problem with, you know, coming out of 2020 with, you know, more skills. I think the problem comes in, I think, when we try to push ourselves too much because, oh, well, what else am I doing with my life right now with not being able to go anywhere? But I figure that for people like you and me who are kind of driven that way academically, I don't see a problem with it, especially if we know, like, hey, this is what we were probably aiming to do anyway. Let's just go and do it. I don't want to pay my loans yet. There is that to be considered as well. So, I mean, yeah, I'm also looking for, hoping for a higher paying job after I get my bachelor's degree. So I'm holding out. I've got a really solid job right now that I love. and I am hoping that it can turn into the job that I want, potentially, and that'll probably be a conversation I have with my boss next week. We're at that time of mid-year reviews. So, hopefully I'll be able to have that conversation and kind of put myself in the path and on the lane for the actual role that I want to take on in about a year. I figured that should be enough time to get me ready to, sit through the interviews and discussions and everything so I can actually take on that role. Whether or not it's available, I don't know. But at least I'll be ready at the time, and, I'll have my certification, hopefully, fingers crossed. And I'll definitely have my degree by the end of next fall. So, plan to look after I get it, but I'm not banking on it. I'd like to keep rolling because I'm a little afraid I'll just stop because life gets in the way, and I may... You know what? You're right. Life does happen. So it's always, that pressure of like, okay, I need to kind of do this now, otherwise I'm not going to. And I had to kind of come to terms with that thinking a few years ago, quite some years ago, the second time I went through college, because, I was told that, hey, you just left school. My first school, I was an art major, and it was my aunt who told me, hey, you just left school, and I think you should, try going back again, because otherwise if you don't finish this degree, you'll never go back. And I believe that. And it's not true, because here I am going in for a very different degree, but I have the passion and the energy and the interest to do it now. And I wish that I had countered and challenged that idea and just said, you know what, no, I will finish this. I will go back when I have found something that I feel I'm actually learning. It's already fit into my schedule, so I think it'll be easier to just continue. Absolutely. So, I wanted to take, some time off to work afterwards, and after I get my degree, my bachelor's degree, just kind of spend the next year working and getting all my application stuff for grad school together that following year. So, if I have to take time to get my certification afterwards, then hey, I'll have done that. Or whatever needs to happen, I can do all that in that following year and then go into grad school. So that's next year, 2021 planning, then taking 2022 off. By 2023, going into grad school. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Okay, so this page. Take a sip. This page, this is when the action starts. And we need to kind of flip this image. So we have everything happening here. They're coming from this side. We want them to come from the other side. And let's see what we've gotten done so far. We have 7 pages. We are about halfway through. I love it. Let's keep going. With an hour left. Halfway through the book with an hour left, so... So what I want to do... I don't know, I do want that angle. So you can see that everything is on this angle here within the pages. And I think I want to recreate that, just going in a different direction. So we'll do the ground is like right here. Get these things going here. We get some trees in this thing. Angle means there's action happening. And as always, we will get through some of, kind of know where these berry bushes were, so we can just kind of draw the scraggly little bits that they belong to. Get this guy. Get someone being thrown here with a bolt of magic. Put that in there. Check out something real quick. You know, this scene doesn't really make much sense, but there's action happening here. Put someone there. We can kind of change up a few things happening here. Arrow, arrow, arrow. Yeah, so I don't think I want to put this thing happening right there. I think I like how the scene is spaced down here, where we have the action just kind of happening a little further away from us. Arrows on this person. Maybe to try to figure out what's happening back here. Otherwise, it's just a bush. Actually, we'll put somebody down here on the floor. Well, the ground, in the snow. Put some arrows in them. Draw this guy up here. Their magical person. Let's draw some people running. He's a torchbearer. Yeah, we need another torchbearer, so you'll be the other one. No, we want another body over here with arrows. Maybe someone's dropped their bundle. You're also having a bundle here. Okay, I think that works. More people running. Got our sorcerer floating around up here. This guy has a pair of swords. And is airborne. Okay. Probably kind of a confusing page a little bit. Oops, forgot to draw the torch. Do that way. Give it a little more angle and attitude. Oh, forgot to draw this person down here. Okay. There we go. This is page 8. Moving right along. Love it. TNIOVP.8. Okay. What I forgot to do. I didn't do that for this. This is the cover. So, I'm trying that right. Okay, good. TNIOV. put you over here. Oh, no. Dropping things. Okay. So here we have now a bit of a conundrum. Do I want to repeat the same angle that I had on the preceding page for this page? So like basically having the angle going down to the right? Or do I want to literally recreate this image? Now I will tell you, this was my favorite image of the whole book. So do I want to literally recreate the most magical scene that I've ever made? Let me close that up. I have my Word document open. Because I think we've got a lot going on here. And I don't know if this scene is just going to have the same magic to it. Let me think about it for a little bit. I might can draw some little things happening down here just to fill that space in. Okay. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to sit down to ink these pages. I'm like, what is this? What's happening here? I hope that doesn't happen. But I foresee that being a thing. Do I want to recreate this angle? What's happening on the next page? Oh! Oh! Right! The Fae. The little forest spirits. Including our little guy here. So, I think I know what this page actually should be turned into. I'm excited about bringing them into this story. Let me sharpen my pencil real quick. Okay. Sphinx buffet. Oh my god. Oh man. Oh, captions. Oh, captions. Oh, that's hilarious. I think I just need to talk a little more clearer than what I do. Sphinx buffet. Was that about me saying I need to sharpen my pencil? I don't know what that was referencing. Captions. It's wild. It's funny, but wild. There's some other stuff that happens here. At least I thought there was. Yeah, okay. I thought I was missing a page, but I'm not. So we do an angle like this. Can get our trees here in the scene. we will go ahead and just recreate this page. Sort of. Now it's Spanx Buffet. Captions is a treat sometimes. You know what? If the captions can be that entertaining, I'll leave it. We don't have anything to fix. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. No, it's really not if it's doing that, but... oh, I'm not really meant to, do that. But, you know what? As long as someone's getting some type of enjoyment out of it, I guess. Oh, we have a dead body over here. That's what's going on. Poor guy being run down. I mean, literally almost cried at that one last time with the Whataburger, so it's a good time with art and laughter. You know what? Hey, I'm here for it. I think that is fantastic. Like I said, so long as we're enjoying it, we're having a good time, that's what we all came to do. I may have to find a different captioner, though, if that's what's going to happen. No, I don't want that like that. We'll do... a little further away. Good vibes indeed. Good vibes indeed. Tree there for you to brace yourself on. Put more dead bodies around. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do this again. 1. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we want you back here. We want a floater. I don't really know what the floater is doing, but we want them there. But you have a lovely night and get some good sleep when it's your turn. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Have a good night, Shelby. Better head to bed. Just realize how late it's gotten. Yeah, it does. Thank you for being here, Shelby. I appreciate it. Everybody else who is still here, thank you so much for hanging out with me. We have 30 more minutes left, so we're going to get through. But you know, guys, I really, really love the fact that you're here with me right now, watching this book come to life. You know what? Maybe I don't want... Don't want that. I'm trying to decide if I really want, you know, the tops of these trees to be seen. You know, with people in them. Let's go. We can have this tree like maybe right here. I think I was trying to draw another tree there. Instead, maybe I'll put it right here, just like this. That angle. There's gonna be some red in this scene, let me tell you. These dead bodies. Splashes of blood everywhere. Okay. I think that'll be it for this page. Yeah, oh, stay. Page 9 is what this was. My head is so itchy. Alright, we're up to the introduction of our Fae. So if you remember, the bottom of our cover here, we have this little guy. I'll probably show them in other pages like preceding this, just so that, you know, we see their actual inclusion and presence in these other 4 scenes, but this is when we actually get to be introduced to them properly. This little guy. Oh, excuse me. I'm just blatantly yawning at this point. Been going for a bit, been up for a bit. So let's say we do this image and we call it a night. Which means I'll have 6 pages, 6 images left to make. Oh no, excuse me, I'm sorry, 5. 5 after this one. This little guy, this angle determines the angle of the scene, so my boyfriend saw this, he said, oh, it's a tiny group. I'm like, well, effectively, that's kind of what's happening here. This little branchling. Draw some little winter fairies here. Get some more going. And let's not forget to draw in our trees, which are positively giant compared to them. Do it at this angle here. Yeah. What am I doing? What am I doing? Just scribbling. Just scribbling. Need this tree to also be at that angle. Well, you can't see what I'm got going on down here, but emerging from this bush here is this armored bird thing. I can make it a skeletal bird, honestly. I think that'll also be fitting. Yeah. Widen this tree here. Spider back here. that in there. Get our spider friend in there. Get our wisps. Want something a little more eldritch, more damnable, something a little terrifying. Like a wraith. Okay. It is, I think that's gonna do it. Whew, y'all, it is 10:47 p.m. We're gonna wind it down. Whew. Okay, so let me get this page separated from out of pad. So I have on my schedule that I will be going live on Friday. And I think if you were to see my schedule right now, you would see there's a Friday stream, a Saturday, and a Sunday stream planned. I work this weekend. I also have homework that I still have to complete, just a handful of things. So the Saturday and Sunday streams are definitely canceled. There's not a really good likelihood that I'll be doing that. Friday is probably going to have to be canceled too. Have just a family thing we have a family commitment. So I'll be doing that. So we'll be hanging out with the family, which will be amazing because we have not seen each other in a few months. So we'll all be doing that. So I will not be here on Friday to finish the rest of this. So we'll come back next week refreshed and ready to go. I may finish out the rest of the pencils off camera just so that everything's ready by next week. I'll see if I can squeeze in the time to at least just do that. Let me just mark this up here. TNIOV P10 means it's the 10th image. But we should be back next Monday. I also end one of my classes ends next week. So I'm pretty sure I'll have some free time to do some streaming. So that'll be fun. And then I think another class starts up the week right after. But we'll be in good shape. So that's the rest of this week. So this is the last stream for the week for me. So obviously I want to thank everyone who came by. Let's see. J Coil 29 with the raid, with 9 people. Thank you for last stream for Halloween. Until next Monday. Until next Monday. Last stream until next Monday. So J Coil, thank you for coming by with that raid. I really do appreciate it. Geek, thank you for hanging out with me tonight, coming back and lurking. Everybody who came by and lurked. You made me super... No, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon unless something happens with school. I don't have any plans for something to happen with school. Like I said, I'm ending a class next week, so I should have plenty of time to actually get back on stream. So, Geek, thank you for coming back. And Shelby, as always, I love it when you're here. Bam, you as well. Thank you for constantly lurking. I really do appreciate it. You're always that one view I know I can count on to be here, as well as Geek and Shelby. So that's 3. But thank you guys for always coming by. Get Danicated. Thank you for the follow. Always welcome. Shelby for the bits. You guys are amazing. This is a lot of fun. So I will be back next Monday. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Everything going well, final projects and everything, and then, like I said, I'll try to get some of these pages done off stream so that we can go right to the detailed pencil work, and then which leads right into the inking. So school is a good reason I can accept that. Well, thank you, I appreciate it. All right, let me get you guys out of here. It's 10:51. I want to just kind of wind down the rest of the night with the dude. So, and then I'm going to bed. Let me see if there's anyone up right now that we can go raid. You know what? Writhing Virtue came by the stream on Monday, and I think I'm gonna do them a solid, and let's go hang out with them. If I can... Yes, we can. Let's go hang out with Writhing Virtue tonight. So, you guys appreciate it. Spoopy Darkness Camera Hour. So I guess is what we're doing. So get ready. Alright guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really, really appreciate it. We are going to go raid Writhing Virtue and have some fun over there for the night. You guys are awesome, and I will see you next week. Bye!